Picture this. The power grid's been down for 3 days. The stores? Empty. Your phone? Dead. You reach for your emergency kit and realize half of it's useless. Batteries corroded, water gone bad. The one thing you actually need? Missing. I'm David, and I've been prepping since 2014. And let me tell you, I learned the hard way that stockpiling gear means nothing if you don't have the right items when it counts. I've seen folks spend thousands on fancy tactical gadgets and still end up helpless when the lights go out. Here's the brutal truth most people don't want to hear. Survival isn't about having more stuff. It's about having the right stuff that actually works when systems fail. Most preppers forget that. Look at Texas in February 2021. Millions stranded in freezing homes, food gone in hours, people burning furniture just to stay alive. Not because they weren't warned, but because they overlooked the basics. That's why today, I'm sharing 11 items you'll wish you had when things go south. Items that don't just sit on a shelf, but keep you alive, warm, and connected when it matters most. And number 7, it's something 90% of preppers skip, yet it can literally keep your neighborhood fed when supply chains collapse. You'll never look at it the same way again. Now's not the time to get around to it later. Prices are climbing, stocks disappearing, and disasters aren't waiting for you to be ready. Because when the next crisis hits, and it will, the difference between panic and preparedness could come down to what's already sitting in your home or what's missing from it. Item 1. Water pasteurization indicator, WAPI. You ever been out camping or stuck in a boil water advisory, staring at that pot, wasting precious fuel, waiting for it to bubble just to know it's safe? Yeah, we've all done it. And here's the brutal truth. You don't need to boil your water at all. There's a tiny tool, smaller than your pinky, that can save your time, fuel, and maybe your life. It's called a water pasteurization indicator, or WAPI. Looks simple, a clear little tube with wax inside. But when that wax melts at exactly 65 degrees Celsius or 149 degrees Fahrenheit, it tells you the water's safe to drink. That's the pasteurization point, hot enough to kill pathogens, no rolling boil required. Now, most people overlook this thing because it doesn't look tactical, no fancy packaging, no survival label. But according to field studies published on ResearchGate and Engineering for Change, it's been proven in real disaster zones, from rural Africa to post-storm Haiti, to reduce fuel use and still make water safe. Price around $8 to $20 for a 2-pack on Walmart or any survival retailer. Cheap, reusable, practically unbreakable if you treat it right. Here's the thing, a WAPI doesn't filter mud or chemicals, it just kills microbes. So if your water looks cloudy, run it through a coffee filter first. That one extra step makes it crystal clear and safe. I once tested this during a week-long outage. One small fuel canister pasteurized enough water for 3 families. No boiling, no wasted gas, just clean water fast. So if you want a smart, low-tech, low-cost upgrade to your survival kit, start with this overlooked gem, because when your fuel runs out, this tiny tube might keep you alive. Item 2, granular calcium hypochlorite. Imagine this, a long-term power outage, your city water plant offline, and the bottled water's gone within hours. You've got barrels, tanks, maybe a cistern. But here's the question, how do you keep that water safe for weeks? Now, most people run straight for household bleach, but here's the brutal truth. Bleach dies. Within 6 months, that gallon in your closet can lose half its potency. What if there was something better, stronger, and 10 times longer lasting? Enter granular calcium hypochlorite, better known as pool shock. Yeah, the same stuff used to keep swimming pools clean can literally save lives in a crisis. 1 single pound of this powder costs around $8 to $30 at Home Depot or any pool supply store, can disinfect thousands of gallons of water. That's not marketing hype, that's EPA data. Here's how it works. You mix a small scoop into water to make a stock chlorine solution, about 500 milligrams per liter. Then you use that mix to treat your barrels or jugs. The CDC and EPA both publish step-by-step formulas. It's safe, proven, and field-tested for emergencies. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, because the powder form lasts years if you keep it dry. That means no more rotating bleach bottles every few months, no more wasted money. But a quick warning, this stuff is powerful. Never mix it with ammonia, acids, or other cleaners. It'll release chlorine gas. Always handle outdoors or in a ventilated space, gloves on, eyes protected. Pro tip, make your stock solution in small batches and label it clearly. Trust me, organization matters when everything else is chaos. Item 3, Off-grid mesh messenger, gotenna/beartooth/meshtastic. Look, when the grid goes dark, your cell signal's gone. And suddenly all those group chats, maps, and check-ins, useless. But here's the thing most preppers miss. You can still text, share GPS, and stay connected without a single cell tower or satellite. It's called a mesh messenger. Tiny devices like the Gotenna, Beartooth, or Meshtastic that turn your phone into an off-grid comms tool. You pair them with Bluetooth, open an app, and boom, you're texting across miles. No contracts, no monthly fees, just pure peer-to-peer freedom. Now, you might be thinking, why not just use radios? Fair question. Radios are great for voice, but mesh messengers give you map-based texting and group coordination like a private local internet. And they scale fast. One unit covers a few miles but links several together, and each becomes a relay, creating a chain that can stretch across neighborhoods. That's called multi-hop range. According to Outdoor Gear Lab, most consumer units hold a charge for about 24 hours on standby. That's a full day of silent communication while everyone else scrambles for a signal. The Gotenna mesh sells between $125 and $179 per unit, while Beartooth's tactical models run higher. They're available from direct manufacturers or outdoor retailers, but pro tip, stocks vanish fast during disasters and summer outages. Now here's where it gets really interesting. These devices aren't just for SHTF events. Search and rescue teams already use them to coordinate across valleys where radio signals bounce and die. Imagine your family hiking or bugging out, each person visible on your phone's offline map. No guessing, no shouting, just calm, quiet coordination. Just don't make the rookie mistake of buying one and calling it good. Mesh means network. You need at least 2 or 3 for range. Combine them with a small solar power bank, and you've got a self-sustaining comms web that laughs at blackouts. Because in the end, information is survival. And when the world goes silent, your network keeps talking. Item 4, portable power station, LifePO4/solar compatible. Picture this. The grid's down, you can hear the wind tearing through power lines, and your neighborhood is pitch black. But inside your home, your fridge is still humming, your radio's still alive, and your phone fully charged. That's not magic. That's a portable power station. The quiet, overlooked heart of modern preparedness. I'm David, and I've been prepping since 2014, and one brutal lesson I've learned, gas generators are great until they're not. When you're out of fuel, when you can't run it indoors, when the noise gives away your location, that's when this little box becomes priceless. Here's the thing. While everyone's fighting over gas cans, the smartest preppers are running life-before battery systems. We're talking units like EcoFlow and Bluetti. Safe indoors, solar compatible, no fumes, no noise, no maintenance. Now, according to Wired's latest reviews, entry-level stations, around 500 to 1,000 watt-hours, go for roughly $300 to $900. Mid-size units in the 1 to 3 kilowatt-hour range run between $1,000 and $3,000. And if you want a whole home modular setup, you're looking at $8,000 plus, but that's complete grid independence. Want proof it works? During the 2024 Texas ice storm, preppers using EcoFlow units kept their fridges and medical gear running for up to 48 hours. That's real-world reliability when everything else failed. Now here's where it gets interesting. These LifePO4 batteries don't just last days. They last years, 2,000 to 4,000 cycles. That's a decade of emergencies covered if you rotate use smartly. But don't make this rookie mistake. People often overestimate runtime. Always calculate watt hours of your devices, add inefficiency margin, and test your setup before crisis hits. Pro tip, go for a unit with UPS pass-through. That means it switches to battery instantly during an outage, and pair it with a foldable solar panel for infinite off-grid power. Because in the next blackout, whether it's a storm, cyber attack, or grid overload, power isn't just convenience. It's control, comfort, and sometimes survival. Real power. Silent, renewable, ready when it matters. Item 5, Faraday bag / small Faraday cage, mission darkness or equivalent. Picture this. A sudden flash lights the sky. Your phone goes dead. Your car won't start. Silence. Except for the hum of nothing working. That's what an EMP can do. It's not sci-fi anymore. It's physics. And if you're storing radios, backup phones, or even your car key fob unprotected, they're toast in seconds. Most people don't lose gear because they didn't have it. They lose it because it wasn't protected. Now, here's the overlooked gem. A Faraday bag. Think of it like a force field in your backpack. These pouches block signals, cell, Wi-Fi, GPS, and can protect small electronics from EMP surges, remote tracking, or even digital disabling. But not all bags are equal. Cheap ones? They're basically aluminum foil fashion accessories. Real ones, like Mission Darkness or MOS equipment sleeves, are lab tested with verified attenuation ratings. According to True Prepper and Batten Cyber, good consumer grade bags can block most everyday frequencies, while rigid EMP cages handle the extreme cases. Pricing's surprisingly reasonable. Phone and key fob sleeves run $15 to $40, and laptop-sized Faraday bags go up to around $90, depending on the build and rating. And here's the thing, they actually work. You can test it yourself. Drop your phone in, seal it tight, then try calling it. No ring, perfect. That means your digital footprint just disappeared. During the 2025 wildfire evacuations in California, some preppers kept spare phones in Faraday sleeves, and when networks failed, they pulled them out clean, untracked, and ready to reconnect via mesh or GMR's real-world proof that simple tools matter. Just don't make the rookie mistake. If the seal isn't airtight, or if you buy a flimsy knockoff, it's useless. Always test before you trust. Pro tip, store at least one old smartphone loaded with offline maps and key documents on a micro SD inside a tested Faraday pouch in a dry, cool place. Because when the lights go out and signals vanish, the people who planned ahead stay connected, quietly, safely, invisibly. That's real digital security, wrapped in a bag. Item 6, food-grade water barrels plus water preserver, 55-gallon or modular water bricks. Picture this, the taps just went dry, not for an hour, for days. You twist the handle again, hoping. Nothing. Your neighbors are hauling buckets from a storm drain, and bottled water's vanished from every store within 10 miles. But you walk to your garage, crack open a blue 55-gallon barrel, and hear that priceless sound. Clean water sloshing, ready to drink. That's not luck. That's preparation. I'm David, and I've been prepping since 2014. And here's one brutal truth I learned early on. Without water, everything else falls apart. Food, power, comms, none of it matters if you're dehydrated, dirty, or sick. Most people stash a few flats of bottled water and call it good, but that's rookie-level prepping. Smart preppers think bulk. Food-grade water barrels, 55-gallon high-density polyethylene tanks, are the real backbone of long-term water storage. They're EPA and CDC approved for potable use and built to last decades if stored out of sunlight. According to the Ready Store and CDC guidelines, a single 55-gallon drum holds enough for one person for nearly a month at emergency consumption levels. At a $15 to $25 water preserver concentrate, like the ones from Aquamira or Water Preserver, and you can safely store that water for up to 5 years without rotation. That's a huge upgrade from refilling every few months. Want flexibility? Check out water bricks. Modular stackable containers that hold 3.5 gallons each, easier to move, perfect for apartments or bug-out vehicles. Now here's the thing, storing is easy, but accessing safely matters just as much. Always use a food-grade siphon pump and spigot, not that random garden hose in your shed. Label the fill date, keep it sealed, and if you're not using a preserver, rotate every 3 to 5 years. And don't forget, water's heavy. One full 55-gallon drum weighs over 450 pounds, so plan its location before filling. You don't want to move it later. Pro tip, keep one barrel indoors for drinking and cooking and another outside, covered, for sanitation. That split system keeps your clean supply untouched longer. Because when the grid fails, power dies, and bottled water's gone, the only thing that matters is what you already have in storage. And that blue barrel in the corner, that's not just water, that's survival insurance, pure, silent, and priceless. Item 7, portable/bucket toilet plus hygiene kit clean waste, go anywhere. Kit, picture this, power's out, water's off. The toilets won't flush, not in your house, not at the gas station, not anywhere. It's day 2 of a regional outage, and the smell outside is starting to hit. You realize something most people never think about until it's too late. Where do you go when you can't go? I'm David, and I've been prepping since 2014, and one brutal truth I've learned the hard way. The fastest way to turn a disaster into a disease outbreak isn't hunger. It's poor sanitation. Most people load up on food, batteries, and ammo, but forget about what happens after the food. It sounds funny, until it isn't. During the 2017 hurricane response, entire neighborhoods in Texas saw cases of E. coli spikes simply because sewage overflowed and families had no backup plan. That's why FEMA and the Red Cross both stress it. Sanitation equals survival. Here's where a portable or bucket toilet kit changes the game. Systems like the Clean Waste Go Anywhere or Luggable Use biodegradable waste bags, powder gel that neutralizes odor, and secure disposal liners that seal tight. No leaks, no smell. Prices range from around $25 for a basic bucket setup to $120 for reusable folding systems. Compact, light, and you can even use them in your car or tent with a privacy shelter. Now, here's the overlooked part. It's not just about convenience. It's about disease control. Without a safe waste system, bacteria spreads fast. Through water, insects, even shoes. Keeping things clean means keeping your family healthy. Pro tip, keep 2 setups, one at home, one in your vehicle or go bag. Add extra hand sanitizer, baby wipes, and a small privacy tent. That way, you're covered whether you're sheltering in place or evacuating. And look, no one likes talking about toilets, but the people who plan ahead, they're the ones who stay healthy when everyone else is fighting infection. Because when society's systems break down, survival isn't just about food or firepower, it's about keeping the one system running that no one talks about. Your own. Item 8, document backup kit, micro SD plus encrypted USB plus paper copies. If your house burned down tonight, could you prove who you are tomorrow morning? Birth certificate, passport, insurance papers, property titles. For most people, they're sitting in a drawer or on a hard drive that's one lightning strike away from vanishing forever. And when disaster hits, fire, flood, EMP, or even a cyber attack, it's not food or gear that gets you back on your feet first. It's documents. That's why seasoned preppers build a document backup kit, a small portable vault of identity, access, and proof, and it's way more powerful than just scanning files to the cloud. Here's how it works. You build 2 layers, one digital, one physical. Layer 1, digital. A micro SD card encrypted with your critical data, IDS, insurance scans, emergency contacts, banking access, sealed inside a Faraday sleeve to block EMPs or tracking signals. Add a waterproof encrypted USB flash drive as a backup. These 2 together protect you from both natural and cyber disasters. Layer 2, physical. Paper copies of essentials, passports, birth certificates, medical lists, and titles, sealed in a fireproof, waterproof envelope. Store them in a safe, dry location, or even inside a small lockbox or ammo can with desiccant packs to prevent moisture damage. Most people never think about this until they're standing in a government office with nothing to prove they exist. After hurricanes, floods, or wildfires, victims without ID can't access relief funds or even cross borders. A simple $20 Faraday pouch and a couple of waterproof sleeves can literally mean the difference between rebuilding fast or starting from zero. Pro tip, make 2 complete sets. Keep one at home in your safe and one off-site with a trusted family member or inside your vehicle Go Kit. This kit is your silent insurance policy, the backup for your identity, your property, and your future. Because in a real crisis, food and water keep you alive, but documents let you rebuild your life. Item 9. Multi-fuel/wood capable cook stove. When the grid's down and fuel stations are empty, how are you going to cook? You can have a pantry full of rice and beans, but without a way to boil water or heat food, you're stuck, and that's where a multi-fuel cook stove becomes one of the smartest pieces of prep gear you'll ever own. Here's the deal. Most people grab a small propane or butane backpacking stove and think they're set. But the moment those little fuel canisters run out, and trust me, they vanish fast during crises, that stove becomes a paperweight. A multi-fuel cook stove, on the other hand, gives you freedom, total flexibility. It's designed to burn wood, twigs, solid fuel tabs, alcohol, or gas, depending on what you have available. That means you can cook dinner on propane today and switch to sticks and scrap wood tomorrow without skipping a beat. Look at BioLite's Solo Stove or Kelly Kettle. These systems are compact, efficient, and built for real-world use. Some models even convert heat into USB power to charge your phone or radio while you cook. In 2024 field tests, reviewers reported reliable boil times even in wind and rain, and performance improving with dry wood and proper airflow. It's not just about convenience, it's survival efficiency. In a long-term outage or evacuation, being able to use local fuel means you're not relying on fragile supply chains. It's quiet, sustainable, and works just as well in your backyard as it does miles off-grid. Here's a quick tip. Practice now. Don't wait for an emergency to learn how your stove drafts air, how to balance your pot, or how much wood it really takes to boil a liter of water. Each model behaves differently, and knowing yours inside out can save you time and frustration when it counts. Pro tip, pair it with a small folding windscreen, a lightweight pot set, and fire starter tabs. That combo gives you an all-weather kitchen that fits in a backpack. When the power's out, food becomes comfort, heat becomes hope, and a reliable multi-fuel stove turns whatever's around you, sticks, balisaz, or gas, into a hot meal that keeps your morale high and your survival chances higher. Item 10, hot hands / chemical hand warmers and instant heat packs. You can have all the gear in the world, but when you lose body heat, you lose everything fast. Picture this. You're stranded overnight in your car during a winter storm. The engine's off to save fuel, the temperature's dropping below freezing, and your hands can barely move. That's when a few hot ends packs stop being a convenience and start being life-saving heat in your pocket. Most people overlook them because they're cheap, but that's exactly the point. These single-use chemical warmers are one of the highest value survival tools per dollar you can buy. They're lightweight, silent, disposable, and have a shelf life of 3 to 5 years. Once opened, they produce steady heat for 8 to 12 hours. No batteries, no fire, no fuel. It's pure chemistry, iron powder reacting with oxygen to create warmth. And that simple science has saved countless lives from hypothermia, frostbite, and shock in cold emergencies. You'll find them in hunting packs, military survival kits, and even disaster relief shelters. They're not just for your hands. They can keep water filters from freezing warm food or baby bottles, and even prevent medications like insulin from freezing solid. Look, when people think about prepping, they focus on the big gear: generators, water filters, radios. But sometimes it's the small, forgotten items that make the biggest difference. A $1 hand warmer can mean the difference between shivering all night and getting real sleep, between functioning hands and frostbite. Pro tip, stash them everywhere. Your car, bug-out bag, winter coat, even inside your first aid kit. And remember, never place them directly on bare skin for long periods. Wrap them in cloth or gloves to avoid burns. And here's the kicker. During winter storms, they vanish fast from store shelves, so stock up when you can find them cheap. Think multi-packs for $10 to $20. Because when temperatures drop and the grid fails, you'll be grateful for every spark of warmth you've tucked away. It's not glamorous, it's not high-tech, but it's practical, proven, and priceless when you're cold, alone, and fighting to stay warm. Item 11. Low-cost tested radio plus simplified comms plan when the power's out, the cell towers are down, and your phone's just a cold brick in your hand. How do you reach your family? That's the moment you realize communication isn't a luxury, it's survival. Too many preppers buy radios they never learn to use. They sit in a box, fully charged, and totally useless when it matters. Because here's the truth. The radio itself isn't the plan. The plan is the plan. That's why a low-cost, tested radio setup with a simple comms plan is one of the smartest investments you can make right now. Here's what it looks like in practice. A pair of GMRs or FRs handheld radios, something rugged, rechargeable, and easy to use. GMRs gives you more range if you get the $35 FCC license. FRS works license-free for short range, perfect for families and neighborhoods. You pre-program just 3 channels. 1 family for direct contact between household members. 2nd neighborhood, so you can check in with nearby homes. 3, emergency, reserved for distress calls or coordination. Print those frequencies, laminate the list, and keep it in your document backup kit. That way, if your gear gets separated, everyone still knows what channels to monitor. Brands like Midland, Baofeng, or Yaesu have reliable models anywhere from $30 to $200. It's not about price. It's about testing your setup before the storm hits. And here's the kicker. None of this matters if you don't practice. Once a month, do a 5-minute family radio check. Power them on, confirm everyone's on the right channel, and test signal strength around your area. A working radio means real-time intel, knowing where help is, where danger's spreading, or simply that your loved ones are safe. In every major disaster, from hurricanes to wildfires, communications are the first system to collapse and the last to recover. If you're ready with a tested radio and plan, you've already got an edge. Pro tip, keep spare batteries or a solar charger in your kit. Radios without power are just dead weight because when chaos cuts the lines, silence kills. But a clear signal, that can save lives, yours and your neighbors. advanced strategies, and common pitfalls now, if you've made it this far, you're already ahead of 90% of people. But let's level up with a few advanced prepper strategies that stretch your supplies and multiply your resilience. Here's the first one. Mix and match your purification methods. Don't rely on just one system. For bulk storage, use calcium hypochlorite or Cal Hypo. It's like having a miniature municipal water plant sitting on your shelf. Then for portable or small batch use, pair that with a WAPI, water pasteurization indicator. That tiny tube shows exactly when water's hot enough to kill pathogens without wasting fuel boiling it dry. Together, you stretch your purification capability for both home base and travel. Efficient, safe, smart. Next, power stacking. One device is good, but layered systems are better. Combine a portable power station, a small inverter, and a roof or foldable solar panel, and suddenly you've got days of fridge time or critical power for comms and lights. Just make sure your gear matches, check the battery chemistry, Life PO4 lasts longer, and verify it's rated for cold weather performance before you buy, because the wrong chemistry can lose half its runtime below freezing. Now, what not to do. Here's a pitfall I see way too often: storing pool shock next to acids or cleaners. Big mistake. That combo can release toxic chlorine gas if it ever mixes or leaks. Always segregate and clearly label anything chemical. Different bins, sealed lids, and a dry ventilated spot. Remember, advanced prepping isn't about spending more, it's about thinking systematically. Layer your systems, avoid single points of failure. That's how you go from prepared to bulletproof. All right, let's rapid fire recap this, because you've just covered 11 of the most practical, overlooked prepper essentials most people miss. Item 1, NOAA/GMRS comms kit. Why? Because silence kills. Price? Around $100 gets you started. Pro tip, pre-plan those channels now, not when the grid's already dark. Item 2, solar lanterns. Cheap light, zero fumes, $20 to $40 gets hours of runtime. Keep one in every room. Item 3, mesh messenger. Text and GPS when towers fail, $125 to $179 each. Pro tip, pair them and build your own off-grid network. Item 4, portable power station, quiet, indoor safe, and reliable. $300 to $3,000 depending on size. Always check LifePo4 chemistry for long life. Item 5, Faraday bag, EMP, and tracking protection for $15 to $40. Test it by calling your phone inside. If it rings, it's junk. Item 6, water barrels plus preserver, your survival foundation. Around $15 to $25 for treatment. Use EPA food-grade barrels and rotate every few years. Item 7, portable toilet kit, sanitation equals health. $25 to $120. Keep one at home, one in the car. Item 8, document backup, micro SD plus paper plus waterproof storage, priceless peace of mind for under $50. Item 9, multi-fuel stove, wood, or tabs. Versatility wins, practice before it's critical. Item 10, hand warmers, $5 to $20 for comfort and survival, add to every bag and glove box. Item 11, radio plus comms plan, $30 to $200 for a tested lifeline, 3 channels, monthly drills, and you're ready. Now, here are your top 3 takeaways. First, water and power are your base. A WAPI, bulk Cal Hypo, and portable power station cover both scale and shortfalls. Second, redundant communication beats fancy gear. Mesh, radio, and a written plan always outperform a lone gadget. Third, small, cheap items, like a Faraday sleeve, hand warmers, or a WAPI, give massive returns for pennies. And remember, DOE and FEMA are already warning about rising grid stress and hazard frequency. Don't wait for the next big outage. Prepare today. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 11 do you already own, and which one surprised you most? Drop it in the comments. And share your local price checks so others can plan smarter. If you got value, hit like and subscribe for future breakdowns with real price comparisons. Comment which item you want to deep dive how-to on next, and seriously, save this video. You'll wish you had it handy when the lights go out, because preparedness isn't paranoia, it's peace of mind.